Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, January the 6th, 2016. Happy New Year. Welcome to the brand new year. This is going to be a fabulous year for all of us, isn't it? Well, let's go with that, okay? If we think positive, we encourage positive. If we think negative, we encourage negative. So this is going to be a fabulous year. So you guys know that I had changes here. I've got a new shop and everything. New location. I'm in the same building, but in a new room, and everybody loves the room. Everyone who's been through has just really loved it. I'd show it to you, but I didn't clean up from some sessions I had yesterday, and so the room is kind of a mess. Sorry. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about a couple of different things. Because it's the new year, of course everybody's talking about resolutions, and I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and do that as well. But I'm also, before I do that, I want to talk about a new product that we just got into the shop. We had a consignee come in last week, I think it was, and she's been asking me for some time if I would do this, and I've said yes, and so she came in last week with her suitcase full, and she brought in some of her crystal skull friends, and she would like to try and introduce them to some new people and some new owners, some new companions. Crystal skulls, for those of you who don't work with them, to give you a very basic background on them, crystal skulls came into popularity in about the 1800s, mid-1800s, as part of the occult movement and as part of the growing interest in the ancient cultures. And some people believe that they had crystal skulls that had dated back to pre-Columbian times, from all over the world, really. But many of the skulls that were given up as specimens to test for carbon dating and such did not, between the techniques and the carbon dating, did not date back that far. They dated back to 1800s. However, crystal skulls were created, like I said, as part of the occult movement. Crystal skulls today frequently are used for their crystalline properties, but also because they are believed to carry inherent pieces of wisdom and information from either this world or from beyond. And from beyond, I mean both the celestial world and the celestial world, so that you can connect with a crystal skull and thereby connect with its higher source, its higher power, its higher wisdom and understanding. Some crystal skulls you buy because they're really cool and wicked neat, and so you keep them on your shelf and they're really cool. Some skulls come and they let you know who they are. They give you a name, they give you a male or a female, or they give you like a culture, or they give you even a species. It all kind of depends on your skull, where you get it from, what it's created by, what kind of crystal its base is. So I got in a really nice, lovely dozen crystal skulls, and they range in size from 5 inches down to 1.5 inches. And that sizing is, let me find this here. That sizing is based on from the tip of the bottom of the jawline to the back of the skull. So this is a 5-inch skull. You can see size-wise how it compares to my hand. And this is a really lovely rose quartz skull. Her name is actually Pearl. She came with a name. I just wanted to kind of tell you about these guys because this, in a small town like this is something that most people haven't seen. And it can be something kind of eerie if you walk into a shop and you're not expecting this. And the reason they're here is not because we're dabbling in the occult. We're not calling down black magic. It's none of that, okay? These crystal skulls are brought in here because I sell crystals. I have a respect for crystal. I have a respect for crystal energy. These are crystal energy. Even if you take away the shape and just look at the fact that you have a crystal, this carries wisdom in it. This carries energy in it. This gives it a human face, okay? A lot of us have a hard time dealing with the idea of energy because energy doesn't have a face. It just is this thing. This gives it a human face. This allows us to actually see it as a construct, okay? So I have crystal skulls in the shop now. I have 3 5-inch ones. I have this beautiful little rose quartz one. I have a clear quartz and I have a smoky quartz. I've got several 3-inch skulls. I've got a gorgeous alien one in Petersite, guys. Oh, it's gorgeous. And then I've got a couple of 2 inch and a half ones, okay? So that's my crystal skull update. Now let's talk real quick about the new year and resolutions. I know everybody makes resolutions come New Year's. And you know, usually by this day they're shot. You know, things like eat better, work out more, get better sleep, work on my relationship. Yeah, by now we've usually shot these things all to Dickens. One of my New Year's resolutions this year, and I put this on my private Facebook page. I didn't put it on the Crystal Soul page. But my biggest New Year's resolution this year is to reconnect with the thing that makes me happiest, and that's community service. I have, since I was a child, been involved with community service and some kind of volunteerism. I enjoy it. I started out by volunteering in nursing homes. I love it. It's something that really makes my heart sing. So my personal challenge to myself this year is to put in 100 hours of community service and volunteerism, okay, in many different forms. Usually this comes out in the form of music. I usually play for nursing homes or other situations. I do play in a local band that is a not-for-pay band, and I consider that to be a community service because we do play for the community, and that really is our whole purpose: joy and playing. So my personal goal, and the goal that I challenge other people to, is community service. My personal goal is 100 hours. My personal challenge to everyone else is 50. That comes down to 1 hour a week, every week this year, with the exception of a 2-week vacation, because we all need one, right? So 1 hour a week, every week of the year, find something to do for somebody else. Feed your community, feed the people that are around you, okay? Either literally or figuratively. The other thing that I want to challenge this year is on my YouTube page, every week, of course I do a video every Wednesday morning. Every Wednesday I want to feature one charity, and usually I'm going to do that through the online process so that I can like put a website at the bottom of the video. So every week I want to sponsor, or I want to, I don't want to sponsor, I want to suggest a different charity. The reason I want to do this is because we are a very digitally connected world. Sometimes community service is hard for us to find depending on location or even safety sometimes. So many of us are connected through Facebook, through Twitter, through Tumblr, all of this stuff, you know. And this allows us an opportunity to reach out and maybe give a little bit to organizations that can use it. Now, that being said, let me put my caveat in here. I'm going to suggest charities. I'm going to suggest charities that make sense to me. Whether you agree with their principles, whether you agree with their donation process, whether you agree with their financial fundraising, whether you agree with how they distribute their funds, that's completely up to you. Use your own discernment. Don't do it just because I said do it. I'm going to suggest things that I feel are sound. You don't have to take my word for it. That's the joy of making my own videos, right? So use your sense, do some research on the charities, and if you find that a charity comes up lacking in your own personal ethics, don't donate to them. Find another charity that does something that actually does, you know, suit what you want to see it do. Okay? So that being said, then my charity for this week that I am recommending is Wounded Warrior Project. Now, Wounded Warrior Project is not the money that comes from the VA. This is not the money that comes from the government. This is the money that comes from regular people who are donating that is then given to specifically, from what I understand, warriors from Desert Storm on up. I could be wrong on that. If I'm wrong on that, please correct me in the comments. But Wounded Warrior Project is there to help supplement the soldiers that are returning that have primarily deal with PTSD. Things that are not like necessarily readily seen or understood. I think they do some work with medical, but I think for the most part they leave medical to the VA and to the government, which does its own diligence there. So I'm recommending Wounded Warrior Project, and you can find them at www.woundedwarriorproject.org, all one word. So go check them out, go see if there's anything you can do to help them out. And get on those New Year's resolutions. Just because you fell down by day 6 doesn't mean you can't stand right back up again. That's how we learn how to walk. That's how we learn progress. That's how we grow. Go out there, help people, and oh my gosh, guys, have an absolutely fabulous 2016, okay? You know, last year's done. Put it under the rug. We don't need that anymore. Learn your lessons, but we don't need that anymore. Let's move on into 2016 and make it an amazing year. So have a great day, have a great week, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye!